Going woke was one of the most profitable decisions corporate America ever made. I hear all the clickbait from comment hitters saying, go woke, go broke. Look at these profit numbers for the past 10 years. Does this look like a group of people that's going broke? There are exceptions, like there was a water company that pushed it a little bit too far with the wokeness and they've been hurt financially, but for the most part, companies that have followed the woke agenda are doing better than ever. Do you really think that the greed is good businessmen from the 1980s just woke up one day and started caring about social causes? Let me tell you what they teach us in business school. If you haven't heard the history of corporate wokeness, you're in for a treat because this is diabolically clever and I think you're gonna like it. To understand the origin of corporate wokeness, I gotta take you back to the financial collapse of the late 2000s. 2008 was one of the most terrifying times to be in finance. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, even BlackRock were on the verge of insolvency. So they had to call in every political favor they could call in. And they got the US Treasury and the US Federal Reserve to take back all of the toxic assets that were threatening their companies. Essentially, they were able to keep their winners and sell their losers to the American people. This led to a lot of backlash, a lot of protests like the Occupy Wall Street movement. And this was around the time that I was in business school myself. And that's when I first learned of what was called CSR, corporate social responsibility. And this was truly the origin of corporate wokeness. The idea is that a political movement can't hurt you if you're funding the movement yourself. So they will quite literally fund any social movement at all that doesn't involve financial reform, because people only have a limited capacity for being angry. And if they're angry over something like a social issue, it certainly isn't something that's going to hurt business. But where CSR transitioned into wokeness was when we realized that this stuff that worked so well to diffuse political movements also worked on employees as well. According to leaked documents from one of the biggest corporations in America, diverse and inclusive workspaces had employees that were much less likely to unionize. In these woke work environments, the employees had a little bit more distrust of each other, so they wouldn't share salaries with each other, and they wouldn't really ask for better work conditions. So wokeness was a complete win for the employer. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, I would never work under such conditions. I'm too strong and independent. That's exactly the point. They don't want people like you working for them. They want people who are going to show up, do their job, and not ask any questions or cause any trouble. If you're willing to buy into the whole woke agenda just to comply with the office politics, then you're probably a good cog for the system. It's like a little litmus test that the employer can put on you. Do you see now how brilliant corporate wokeism is? It gives you control over regulations. It gives you control over your employees. It does a lot to improve your bottom line. And yeah, sure, you alienate a few small groups from time to time, but that's a small price to pay for a more profitable business model. This is an issue that I have done a complete 180 on, particularly after seeing the profit figures for some of these companies. In fact, I think I'm going to go to ChatGPT and create a more ESG-friendly intro for the Roars team. Hello, this is the Roars team. We are dedicated to building homes in Africa with a strong focus on inclusion, intersectionality, and advancing women's rights. Together, we're not just constructing homes, we are also shaping communities that thrive on diversity, equity, and empowerment. Who would have thought selling out would be so much fun? But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think ESG scores and wokeness is just a fad that's going to come and go within the next couple years? Or do you think it's something that's here to stay? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if this video provided value to you, give me a like and a follow. That really helps out my channel. And I'll see you guys on the next video.